once again to 1 Petite Street. I'm Jim Williams, and I'll be hosting today. Later on today, we'll be looking at what is in the box, which is basically going to be what our next project is. And before that, we're going to look at the project we projected last week, which is the making of a set of chairs for our dining room table. And so we'll show that as we go along. As usual, I want to ask you to subscribe. We're slowly growing in subscriptions, and that's okay. Even if you don't subscribe, if you've enjoyed today's program, just hit that like button. And if you'd like to contact us, you can do so at 1 Petite Street at gmail.com. 1 Petite Street, gmail.com. Just send us a remark or communicate with us. And so at this time, we'll go and look at the project that we had for this week. And as we close today, we'll reveal the project we'll be working on for next week. So here we have the parts of our chair, and just kind of the evolution of how it starts out as paper. And these I got out of a book. I redesigned it a little bit because I don't have the information about the book, so mine's a little different, hopefully. And then you cut the pieces, you trace them from the paper on to the plywood, to this little thin, this is 3/8 inch. Yeah, 3/8. And then after you get them cut out, you start gluing them together. You glue the seat and the legs, and you end up with this right here. And you can see that it's those 3 pieces glued together. And we'll come back and look at it in a little bit to show you what it looks like after it's been finished. And we're going to have a little cushion on each seat to make it a nice dining room table chair. So now we have all of the chairs glued together, and we're going to then finish them up, hopefully so they'll all look nice and pretty. And we're going to take the table that they go to, and let me put that right in here, and we'll put the chairs with the table. And so here we have the 4 chairs and the dining room table that we'll be finishing so that they'll all look nice together. We plan to have cushions on the chairs, and so we'll be working on those, and when we have that complete, we'll show again the 4 chairs and the dining room table that are for our dining room in our dollhouse. And so now you can see we have the chairs stained and the table stained, and in front of them is the material we're going to use to make seats for the chairs, and maybe a runner for the table, and maybe even curtains for our dining room window. I think that'll look very good. You hear road noises outside, but that will look very good. So that's the next part of our project, is to make the seats for the chairs and a runner for the table. So what we have here is how we covered the chairs, and I'll show you the finished chairs here in just a moment. But right here we covered the chairs. We took a little piece of cardboard and then we hot glue gunned the cover on it, and we used this material, which I'll show you we used also for a runner for the table. This is just a piece of scrap material I was able to pick up at actually at Hobby Lobby, and so it had a nice small pattern, as I showed you before. And now we're going to show the finished table. First of all, we'll bring the table in. This is the table, and we made a runner for it out of the and we're going to pull back just a little bit so we have room for our chairs. And we made our 4 chairs to go around the table like this. There's 1, 2, and 3, and 4 chairs. And there we have our dining room set for our dollhouse. So here we have the 4 chairs that we made and the table, and we covered each chair with the materials, and we made a runner for the table. And that is our dining room table for the dollhouse. So there we have it. Well, I hope that the project we did for this week was entertaining and maybe give you some ideas and inspiration yourselves. As far as what we've done on the dollhouse, we have secured these stairs here. So now we're going to put a doorknob on our little door there. I'm going to make an insert here that can pop in and pop out, so we can look inside to what I guess I call the Harry Potter room, and you can see in there from this perspective. So we're going to put that back in there, and we're going to be working on, of course, the railings on that as time goes on. So you're probably wondering what our project will be for next week, and I'll reveal that right now, because next week we are going to take and make some magazines from the time period of the 1950s, and these were obtained. I'll show you the address at next week's show, but then we're going to take and try and make these look like little magazines to use around our house. So that will be next week's project, and we thank you for tuning in this week. Remember, you can reach us at onepetitestreet@gmail.com if you'd like to. And we certainly ask you again one more time, like us, and please consider subscribing. And so we thank you for being with us today, and I hope that our project was helpful for you. Until next time, think small, beautiful thoughts.